Okay, I think I'm recording. Hey guys, I wanted to give a quick demo of the IdeasX system for potential alpha users, and just kind of cover the process that has gone through thus far. I've never made a video like this before, so bear with me. I'm going to try to edit a couple different screenshots together. So video from my cell phone basically, and video from the desktop. So what I have on the right plane here is the IdeasX workstation client. As you can see, there's three tabs here, one for the encoders, one for actuators, and one for settings. Encoders automatically populate as they come into the system. So if you can see here, there's one encoder lit up blue, which means it's online and in the system, and the other one doesn't have a light on because it's not on right now. So to turn on an encoder, you actually just have to plug it into the USB port, and then it'll automatically boot up, and then you can remove the USB and it'll stay powered. This was done because I basically think that people are going to use these things until they die. So that's why I did it that way. So if I plug it in, it's going to boot up and it blinks green, which means it's looking for Wi-Fi. And then once it found it, it blinked blue, and you can see that it popped up into this interface over here. So what's on this interface is basically a signal strength indicator, which tells you how strong the device connection is to the access point. Battery life, which is listed as a percentage. This icon here, which I call the switch configuration menu, I'll go over that in a second. An activate button, which when it's activated, it lets you send, it'll send basically that your switches that you have plugged in are activated or not activated, and so on and so forth. And then a command menu. So for example, from the command menu, you can send a shutdown command, a reset command, and then there's also an information dialog, which just lists a different, additional info, or it'll change the name. So for example, you can change this to Tyler. Okay, so let me just give a demo of, I guess, how it works. So I'm going to shut one down. So I shut down this device right here. So how the system works is basically these guys send, we call them keep alive messages every so often. This setup right now is send a message every once a minute. So what's going to happen is the system will notice that this device didn't send its keep alive message, so then it'll automatically drop out of this list. So it'll only take a couple seconds for that to happen. In the meantime, I'm going to connect an adaptive switch to the other device right here, named Maureen. So on the box itself, you can see that there's two labels, 1 and 2. So I'm going to plug it into the first jack here. And then on this icon, you can also see there's two labels, 1 and 2. If I click 1, it'll say I can enable the switch or disable the switch. So if I disable it, you'll see the icon turns red then. If I re-enable it, it'll be enabled. I can change what key press it's going to send. So for example, I'll make it send A instead of a 1. And then if I come over here and I press the button, you'll notice nothing happens. That's because I didn't activate it yet. So if I hit the activate button and now I click, the A will come through. So it's the same thing here. Let's say I want to send not 2, but I want to send a B, for example, for the second switch. I hit apply. I then can come over here, plug it in the second jack, and press the button. And you'll see that it'll send the B. And if I bring it back, of course it'll send the A again. If I hit the deactivate, this will no longer, whoops, let me go back over here. This will no longer work. So an idea of how this would be used, I guess, in the classroom is, for example, if you wanted to play a game. So let's say you had a web game that you wanted to play that used only a couple of different keystrokes. I think a perfect example of this would be Flappy Bird. So the first thing you do is kind of figure out what button needs to be pressed to activate this game. This one says you can use a space bar, right? So since we're already connected to switch 1, I will go to this configuration and change it to a space bar and hit apply. And let's say the other switch was also connected to the student, and we didn't. And it's potential that if they activated that switch and pressed another key that this game wasn't looking for, it could kick them out of the game. We can avoid that by simply disabling this switch entirely. So even if it is activated and he clicks it, it won't do anything. So now if we click activate, oops, let's see what's going on here. Oh, I wasn't highlighted in the box there. So we can now play a Flappy Bird game through it, but I'm not very good in an IdeasX module. So just to highlight exactly what I mean by deactivating this switch here, if I come back over here, if I hit this button, you would expect a space to happen in this text editor. You can see the space come through, right? Now if I disconnect this and connect it to the other jack, you would expect something to happen on the screen when I press this button. But nothing happens because we deactivated this switch, even that the device is active. When we re-enable the switch, it'll now let it go through. So that's all I have for this quick demo. I don't want to spend too much time. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you have any feedback. Have a good one.